Alrighty, artists, so what I am doing is continuing on from my tutorial 1 video on how to create a magazine layout. At this point, we need to figure out how can we insert our pictures into these smart objects that we have here, these black colored rectangles that we've inserted on our page. What we need to do in order to get it to the correct size is we're going to go over to our layer panel and make sure we are in our pictures folder that we created. We are going to actually double click the box next to rectangle 1 here. So I'm going to double click that, and what you'll see is now we're in that layer, and then we need to drag our picture into here, and you'll see this is my black box here. It's kind of hard to see because it blends in with that gray in the background. So when I drag my picture in, I need to size it to make sure it is the correct size here. So now I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and we're going to insert, of course, some of the pictures of projects that we've worked on this year. So I can double click that to insert it, make sure I'm on the Move tool, and I'm going to move that to make sure it can fill the entire contents. Oops, where did my image go here? Place Embedded. I am going to change the size first and then move the image accordingly. So size it first and then move it to fit inside that box. So you'll see it now that it's a smart object, it's simply making sure we're filling that box up. So when I'm ready and I like how that looks, I'm going to simply go up here to where we have the 2 documents. Right now we're currently in that layer document. We need to exit out of it, and we want to save the changes by clicking yes. So now that will pop right into my document. So nice of a tool. My next step is going to be going in and doing my other pictures. So again, going over to the layer panel, double clicking, it opens up my box. You can see the black box here is where I'll insert the picture. File, Place Embedded, choose what project I would like to insert, place, or double click the image, change the size first, make it fit inside that box. Once I'm good with how that looks, click check or enter, exit out of that new document here, click yes to save the changes, and voila, it pops right in there. Double click the next one, File, Place Embedded. Let's try another project. And change the size first to fit inside that box. Just like that. Checkbox or enter. Now I can exit out of this and click Save Copy. And do the next one. Double click the box. File. Place Embedded. Let's do this one. Double click. Change the size. Not quite big enough yet. Click checkbox or hit enter. Close. Save copy yes. And we have one more left to go in my layers panel. Double click. File. Place Embedded. And we'll do one last one here. Click enter or the checkbox. Close out of your layer. Save it, yes. And you now have all of your images. One thing that I'm seeing in all of my pictures is that there is a lot of pink, purple, and blue tones. So this red looks not great with all of the colors that are in my photos. So what I might go back and do is change the color of those boxes possibly. Make sure I'm on the right layer here. What a dark purple, would that look pretty? I don't know. Let's try that. You can always click OK if you need to rasterize a shape before working with it. Whoa, my bad. Let it undo. Let's go to my next rectangle. I honestly am not crazy about this rectangle at all. I might just delete that. So I can always right click and delete a layer if I don't like how it looks. I'm going to go down to this red one and then go to my color swatch, and nice enough, recently used colors actually pops right up if you want all of these things to match. So that is a super nice thing to have on here. I can click that purple, and then I could always add like a little page number down here if I wanted to using my text tool again. But I'm liking how that looks. So what I might put here is maybe like a black box might look a little bit better. So I'll go back and add, go to my rectangle tool here on the left side, and maybe I'll add a black box that goes to almost the center of my page. Purple's, yeah, a little distracting, so maybe I'll do the black. And you can absolutely play around with the shape tool and create more. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I want to put a pink box inside of here or something. We could do purple. So these are just little decorative elements that you can add, and I just realized that I don't have a caption for this photograph here, so I might include that caption right over here. So I might add another text box, and then I might make this font white instead, so it pops against that black box. Change that to 12 point, make that smaller, and I can maybe put in the title of the work there too. So really what you're doing is now just adding those fine details, and then also adding in your text here. So of course this is your choice of as far as what you write in here. So you're going to at least, I would say, create 2 paragraphs, you know, one in each text box on each side about maybe these photographs that you've entered. So it might be smart to add your photos first of your projects and then go in and talk about what you did within art class here. One final thing I wanted to show you that is kind of cool would be how could you maybe put an image in your entire background. So this can be really fun. If we go down to our background right now, that is just the background, so it's locked. It's not really a layer, you can't edit it. We can unlock it by just clicking that little lock icon. Now it's a layer that we can edit. When you do this, it adds an image to your entire background. This is what I'm showing you right now. So you can right click and convert this again to a smart object. That's your entire background that it's changing right now. At this point, then you can go to File, Place Embedded, and you could do, if I pretend this is one of my projects here for a minute, I'm going to rotate it so it's the correct orientation first. And then I can, oops, and I forgot a step. I need to actually double click that layer. Here we go. And then now I have to go to File, Place Embedded. So now I can make this image bigger so it fits my entire background. Click the check mark or enter. I can exit just like I did for my photos, exit and click yes for saving. And now that popped up in my background. Now that is way too busy, so I want to then go to my right side layer tool and click the opacity area. And what we're going to do is drag this arrow left and we can lighten that up. How cool is that? So you can actually put one of your projects even in the background of your magazine layout. So play around with the opacity. The brighter you want it, the more right you shall go. So pretty cool little trick there. I like that. We'll leave it at that. And maybe all my font might be white. I might play around with this a little bit. Honestly, it's a little bit busy with that photo in the background now, but you know, it's totally up to you if you want to actually try doing this. So if you're ever going in and editing your text, just make sure you're on the text function and double clicking where you would like to edit, right? Or you can just go to that individual layer and then edit your text. So make sure that you are paying attention to what layer you are on. It's really hard to work on something when you aren't paying attention to the layers. It can be really difficult. So again, you can double click the layer that you're working on and then go in and edit the text for that specific layer. So at this point, I might go in and, like I said, title each of my work. So we could call this Waterfall of Mystery. I don't know. Can change my captions. So we call this one The Earth Without Art. Devonte Adams. And then Marshmallow and Lambo. Alright, and now is your opportunity to go in and make any edits to all of your text. So again, writing about what you learned within our class, what you would like to share about your projects, things you might have enjoyed. Once you are completely finished, if you want to see how this looks without these guides in the way, you can actually hit Control H. Oops. Make sure I'm done. Control H, and that will hide any of the current guides that you have up. So you can see Control H again, they come back. Control H, they disappear if you want to see what your layout looks like without those being in the way. If you're like, what happened there was I was working on a layer and I made a change and I hadn't clicked that little check mark box yet, so it wouldn't let me do that Control H function until I was done with that. So if you're like currently in the middle of working on something, you need to make sure you click it or hit enter. Yes, I want to save these changes, and then you can go in and do the Control H to go back and kind of check out what you're working on without all those guides in the way. So one last little tidbit is the background. You see these little boxes. All that means is that those layers are transparent, so those little boxes will not pop up when you print this out, essentially. They're just there to show you that that's a transparent layer. So it can be a little bit distracting when you're working, but just so you're aware that that normally would not be there in your actual artwork. So at this point, if I am finished, I can go to File, Save As, and I can save on my computer and call it Magazine Layout. If I'm working on it or saving it to work on it later, you save it as a Photoshop document. If you're completely done, that's when you would save it as a JPEG. So you can call it Magazine Layout and you can put your name in there. You can click Save, OK, and then you have saved your document. So have fun with it. I really am excited to hear what projects you really enjoyed and see all of this come together and hear a little write-up about what you enjoyed and what you've learned throughout the entire semester. So have fun with it.